Good evening, everyone. Fingers crossed this is working. Still very new to this whole experience. Just trying to set everything up now, make sure I got all my screens working correctly. Excellent, thank you, Velvet. Welcome back, Atto, as well. Thank you guys for being here, bless you. So this is the first of the unofficial live streams. Basically the plan I've had, I'm still trying to figure out the maths behind it, even in Welsh. How you mate? The plan is to basically use a multiplayer server as also the live stream. So a couple of the guys and girls on the channel have been invited to take part in that, so they'll be able to join this multiplayer server and be a part of it, and then I will then jump on at set dates with them, and we'll do some farming together, and we'll try and record that, which hopefully will bring out a little bit of decent content. Nothing sort of crazy planned for tonight, just to sort of really talk through what's going to happen. I'm not expecting anyone who's had the invite to the multiplayer to jump on. If they do, it's going to be chaos, to be fair, because I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing when I'm setting that up either. As you can tell, I'm not the most experienced with this, but in terms of what we're going to do, I figured we may as well just use the DLC stuff. This map I'm only playing at the moment for my challenge series, so I haven't really delved into the whole farming experience on Kinlaig, and haven't done any of the fishing yet or anything like that. So yeah, really keen to do that. So I've just chucked loads of the DLC kit in. So we've got the seeders and planters all over here. Don't know why we've got actually doubled up on some stuff, but there we are, doesn't matter. Cultivators, mowers, an array of vehicles for us to use, ranging in power and ability. Couple of attachments there for the JCB, a little bit more kit over here. So we've got the spreaders, the onions, and then we've got our trailer, muck spreader, and then onion collector, and then the usual stuff in terms of our grass and straw collections, harvester, baler, and header. That's basically it kit wise. I did initially, and you'll see the sort of texture of the ground is a bit different here, I did put another shed in by here, but then it just made it so tight in this area, and the idea of like trying to get stuff in and out of here would just be a bit of a nightmare, so stayed well away from that. Now what I don't want to do is do too much of the farming that this multiplayer server is meant to be about, but I need to do something at the same time as I'm talking to you guys, so I think I'll come out a third person. Hopefully it'll be a bit better as a view. But there, so how are we all? Hope everyone who's watching is well, enjoying the game. Have any of you genuinely interested? Rob, yes. How are you, mate? Yes. Wicked to have you here. Those of you that have played this, have any of you decided that this map isn't for you and you don't like it? Yeah, would be intrigued to see if that's the case, because so far I am just utterly in love with this map. Yeah, and I mean, there will be some, I'm sure, but I'd love to know the reasons why. So I haven't done anything yet with the animals over here. They are as they are. We've just bought the land, and I've chucked some grass or hay in there. But other than that, nothing overly special. So, I mean, simple stuff. We could do a little bit of harvesting here, couldn't we? Hopefully, nothing too crazy. Because it's a multiplayer map, I basically got barely any mods, so certainly no script mods, so there won't be any of the Farcical debacle that we had the last time, where our drivers decided to basically mount the front of the harvester with the runner. So we won't have any of that shenanigans going on. But right, let's jump in the harvester at least and start some farming, is it? Go and do something. I've also been messing around with the audio, so can you just let me know if the game audio is too loud or the microphone audio isn't loud enough, please. So if there's any issues on that side, let me know. There is, mate, Welsh, you're absolutely right, mate. There is zero wrong with any shenanigans. Although at my age, mate, the shenanigans these days, few and far between. Oh, if Mrs. Midge is downstairs listening to this, she's going to burst through this door in a minute and throw a shoe at the back of my head. Right, let me go and grab a small tractor and grab our header, take that down the bottom and up the way. Right, let's jump in the little class. I think this will do us. So yeah, intrigued if anyone, what your thoughts are really on the map. Is there anything you've done differently? For those of you that don't know and don't follow him, go and do it. Go and check out Welsh Sim Farm. You'll see him in the comments here. Go and check out, where am I going? I'm just driving off to the bloody field. Go and check out Welsh's custom farm on this map as well, and there's some really good ones out there already. Some of the guys in the Discord dropping the pictures of the stuff they're doing at the moment, and it's, yeah, I wish I was as talented as that. I don't have the patience. I do love making my own farms, but it just never goes as the way I want it to go. So, oh, that's the other thing as well. Again, apologies, because sort of ignore it really, but it was more just as a bit of a test. And you've got the bar across the bottom. I'm just starting to sort of get my head around understanding overlays and how that sort of works. So, like, I'm trying to keep it as simple as I can. So yeah, it won't be the one that's permanent, but I just wanted to put one on here just in simple terms, just so we had one listed on the video, and I could see when I watch it back if and as when anything changes. So if we like pick up any subs and stuff, then great, and it should then capture that. The issue is I don't know how to get rid of half of the stuff that's on there that I don't really need or expect to see any activity on. So yeah, interesting to sort of walk down that path in the future. Right, let's unfold this, and we need a straw swath, please. So let's enable that. No, that's the wrong key. Why is that not working? Interesting. I don't seem to be able to engage the straw swath. Why not? What am I getting wrong? Ah, there we go. I must have been pressing something else at the same time. Okie dokie do. So let's have a think about this. Pipe on the outside. Hugh Jones, good evening, good sir. How the devil? Yes, Rob, you are absolutely right. The auto drive guy has done a route. I downloaded it yesterday. Haven't had a little go at it yet though, so intrigued if anyone else has had a crack at that. Do let us know in the comments if you'd be so kind, as to if you think it's if it's up to scratch. I imagine it is. The stuff that the auto drive guy does is just top level, in the absolute top level. Yes, it is, and that's what I should have said, Welsh. So in the comments you'll see there, basically Welsh is saying that the farm that he's designed. Did you do it with the apprentice as well, mate, or was it just solely you? Is also available for download, and it's basically as part of his MP server. And Welsh, I genuinely at one point thought, should I use his farm for my MP server, but I just thought that is beyond cheeky. So yeah, I thought I'll just keep it for the basics. Sit my mind, gwych mate, gwych. I don't want to go too far down the Welsh rabbit hole, because my Welsh is quite toffee Welsh these days. It's weird because I'm fluent in Welsh, and I did all my education in Welsh all the way through to A levels, all in Welsh. but then haven't really spoken Welsh since I left school. Now that is a long time ago. So what's weird is the sort of common words, or when I've got a bit of time to think about it, I'm fluent. So when I'm taking my daughter to go to a Welsh school, and I'm pretty much the only parent who seems to speak it weirdly in this school, and yeah, so I can talk to her in Welsh, but I've got time to sort of think of the words. I can read and hear Welsh and understand it. What I can't do is converse like that. So if I went to then go into a full sentence, I would just start making up sort of Englishy, Wenglishy words. Yeah, and it just gets absolutely embarrassing. Oz, evening. How are you? How is the taxation mod, mate? The red tape. I saw Scroft's. I'm sort of catching up on a few videos now, and I saw Scroft has just dropped his latest series on here, where he's knocked his sort of productions sort of quick playthrough going, and he's going to be looking at that. And I've only seen the first episode where he's sort of talking about the mod. So yeah, how's that looking, mate? Hope it's going really well. For those of you that don't know, that mod sounds, if you like realism in the game, then yeah, it's gonna blow your mind. Right. Let's see, let's get this lined up a little bit better than that. Andy Winkles, good evening. How are you, mate? Welcome to the channel. You recently found us. Glad to see you here, mate. Thank you for joining us. Just trying to make sure now I haven't missed anyone else coming along. Glad to hear it, mate. Yeah, really sort of looking forward to seeing that, and it sounds like one of those mods that's going to be so in depth and good. I'm gonna almost need to like turn off some stuff to focus on it, if that sort of makes sense. That's how my sort of brain works on it anyway. I can't wait, mate. I really can't wait, and I think it will, for those of us that, I mean, I play similar to Scroff's style. That's I guess why I love his channel so much, because I like the realism element of it, which is ironic because I know I know I get pulled up a lot by people like Wolfie when I say I like the realism, and then I'll pick up a 1,000-litre pallet by hand. But yeah, that sort of thing. Those mods that bring that extra level, and that's probably about 17 extra levels of realism into it. It just top draw, mate. Top draw. So from those of us playing the game, thank you for the effort, thank you for the amount of time that you guys, all these like the map creators and mod creators put into making this game just so much more brilliant. And it's already brilliant, and I know it had a rough start, but I truly love this game now. I truly do. It's just superb, absolutely superb. But there we are. Right, how are we looking here? 72%. So yeah, when I set this up earlier, and appreciate it, Welsh, thank you, mate, for the offer, but I think it would just be too much like a copyright, really, so I've got to have some originality to it. But what I might do on the slide, mate, is play it offline on my Todd. When I set this up earlier, I just thought I'll just kind of go back to basics, because it generally is a case that I haven't done any farming on this, and because I focused so much at the moment on the challenge series, which is basically a forestry challenge at the moment. It won't always be that way, but I've been wanting to do some forestry on this game for ages, but I've sort of stayed away from it, focusing on the sort of farming side and the core aspects of the game, where probably I'd say like that's sort of 70% of the fan base is. But yeah, I've stepped away from that now for the challenge series. Really enjoyed it. Forgotten how, not tedious, but like how time consuming like the whole forestry thing is. But I'm really enjoying that. And then the other thing obviously is the homecoming, which unfortunately this week I've just had an absolute bummer of a week where I just haven't had the time, and I thought, well, I could probably put like a 20-minute episode out, but I'd be rushing it, and it's not properly prepped, and I just thought, well, why do it? Why, you know, the whole point is I want the channel to grow. I want to give you guys a product that you want to come back to listen to again, and you're not going to want to listen to like that again if it's rubbish. That almost caught me out then, because I don't have my harvest stop mod, which I'm used to. Right, let's have a little look. And Yandy, yes, you are right, mate. And what you'll find is some of the guys and girls in the Discords on here, and especially then with Welsh and with Scroft, if you sort of get into that world, the contacts that they have, like Oz is talking here and is an incredible mod maker. We're very lucky to have Martin ML Gamer, who gave us Garth Farm, and Rod Martin as a map maker. You know, they're like, the community around mod making and map making is massive, and I think for me it's the one thing I always try to remember to thank and take the time to thank these guys, and understand that when they're, you know, when we're bringing, I'm going to walk because it allows me to talk to you guys at the same time, when they're bringing out new mods, things aren't going to work, you know, things are going to be a bit glitchy, a bit buggy, and we have to be patient and we have to be understanding. I guess, you know, the mods, it's certainly so, but map makers, and the way map makers get treated by some of the, I wouldn't say the community, but just by some of the players, is shocking. And you can see why so many have stepped away. So what I always ask for anyone who follows this channel, support your mod makers and your map makers, be patient with them, work with them to on the faults and stuff, because I guarantee the ones that I've spoken to so far, they want to know your constructive and positive feedback, and they will make those changes, and they'll make them quickly as well. So yeah, don't just, you know, talk poorly about people. Actually engage with them and help them out. And, you know, there may be things that you want to see that they might put in the mod or the map. There may be things that they haven't thought of. You might find things that will really help them out. So, you know, they want to have contact from you. Why do I keep forgetting to take my attachments with me? Oh my god. Mids, come on, mate. Oh god, turn and circle that Titanic in on this thing. I forget. Come on, all wheel steering. Bloody hell, spells. Release version might be slightly feature light, I guess, but it's kind of a framework, so hopefully with the community ideas. And there we are. So I hadn't even read that before spouting all my stuff just then that Oz has said. So exactly, community ideas, etc., it gets more in depth, and that's exactly it, isn't it? So when that comes out, you've got Oz there looking to have feedback from people about what is good, what they'd like to see, what isn't working, things like that. So, you know, take these opportunities to engage with the community, because the base game is great, you know, it is good, but it will have a shelf life. What makes FS so special is the mods, and that's console as well. It just sets it apart, and I've never played a game that has grabbed me like FS has. And for the first time this week, I actually, and we'll probably try and remember to come full circle to this, I was in an absolute stinker of a mood yesterday, and I just wanted to play a game that didn't need my brain, and I decided, I was like, I'm not going to play FS because it's then going to annoy me that I'm not recording, and I'm going to be thinking about this and things. So I downloaded, is it Roadcraft, as in the sort of follow-up to Mud Runner and Snow Runner. That might just pull me back into PlayStation gaming on the side, on the quiet. I might have to cheat on the PC because, yeah, enjoyed the couple of hours I had on that last night. D-Dog, there's another one, an absolute legend, Andy, and for those of you that don't know, I can't speak highly enough of D-Dog, because someone who is so willing to always help out, share experience, give advice, and is an incredible mod maker. The Ivor Williams trailer that D-Dog's got, it is wicked, and I was so excited. I remember being so excited getting that mod, because when I was on PlayStation playing it and we didn't have any Ivor Williams trailers available to us, I couldn't wait to get on PC and have an Ivor Williams trailer, and I don't even know why. It's probably just because of the name Ivor, isn't it? And I'm a weirdo Welsh loser. But like, yeah, another great example of someone who is a huge part of certainly the this community. And I think at the moment, like, I'd love to talk to people like the big content creators who are American and see what the difference in their sort of impression of FS community is like. Because for me so far, the majority of people I speak with are British, or play the British style. Now, I do speak with some Canadian, some American, a couple of Australian, a couple out in Asia, but primarily the people I generally seem to see engaging in the stuff that I do are mainly British. But then YouTube will tell me a completely different story, that the majority of the people, my subscribers, are actually American. So yes, it's interesting. Yeah, of course I'm giving you big head, mate, because you're a legend. Absolutely deserved. Excellent question, Oz. Good topic. So, Llama is coming up. We are T-minus 2 months. I, for one, am going. So that happened on the last live stream, for those of you that remember. We basically started talking about Llama then, and I came off the live stream and went and bought my tickets to Llama, got my tickets to the evening do, and then my sorted out my accommodation, which cost a bloody fortune. So don't tell Mrs. Mids. And my train ticket, which would almost cost twice as much as the accommodation, and thank God I found some website that gave me a cheap train ticket. So yeah, I am going, cannot wait. Mic volume seems a bit low. Roger that. Stand by, mate. I will come to the end of this run, and then I'll go and have a quick change of that. I know I have changed my audio recently, mate, so it's all to do with that. So give me 2 seconds, gang, and I'll be back with you now. Right, back in the game. Hopefully, let me just jump across, check my... I've only got 2 screens here, this is the problem, so I can't... If I had a 3rd screen, this would be far easier, because I could keep all the chat and YouTube stuff on the one screen, and then I could have my OBS and sort of other gumph in the background. Hang on a sec. Right, is that better? I think it is. Right, I think that's better. T-Dog, let me know, mate. Yes, excellent, that's better, brilliant. Keith, there he is. Good evening, buddy. How are you, mate? I hope you're very, very well. What's Velvet saying? You got all that sorted out, and then Velvet, absolute fact. So when we did the live stream, and then I came off the live stream, sorted out a few bits and bobs. Mrs. Mids generally goes to bed sort of 10:30, so she was fasto, and I basically went to bed and then on my phone booked everything, and just sort of prayed but I did everything I did book. I made sure that I could cancel. I think it was like the only thing I couldn't get out of was basically like the evening ticket and maybe my train ticket, but everything else that had a purchase cost to it, yeah, I made sure that I had it out, so that if Mrs. Midge was like, you are off your head, you're not doing it, then yeah, I could have backed out. It is easier to ask forgiveness than permission. Absolutely right. It's a risky game, there was, isn't it? This is the problem. It's a risky game. I spent my life asking for permission. But what I find then is that wonderful thing that we do in relationships, isn't it? You give permission, but then actually it'll be held against me forevermore. It was a brilliant one tonight, actually. She did me like an absolute kipper and has got me in her top pocket, realistically. So she's really into her running, and she has signed up for 2 half marathons next year. Now, she hasn't told me any of this, right? She banked it, and she's been signed up for it for a little while by the sounds of it, because she knew the minute she did, the conversation would come around about how much additional training she was going to end up doing, and we literally, our schedule at the moment is so tight, and that's why this week I haven't been able to do any recording for the roleplay, because she's had to work weekends, and that's a lot of that time is when I get to do my recording. And it's something as simple as that, just those, like, you know, kind of losing those like 6 to 8 hours a day just throws us out. So yeah, so she banked the fact that she signed up to these 2 half marathons and waited for me to tell her something that I was doing, which is just brilliant, isn't it? Because I played my first, and I'm gonna get, now this is gonna separate the room. I had my first outing in Dungeons and Dragons 2 nights ago. Yeah, Friday night, and it was brilliant. Now, we didn't really know what we were doing, and you know, we're just idiots. And what was more funny was what made it brilliant was the fact that the people playing it make it brilliant, isn't it? Because it's all about that sort of your reaction and storytelling. So anyway, so like the guys I was playing with basically set like a couple of dates for the next sort of get together. I'm not going to get back up there, am I? So I dropped that on her today. I was like, oh, you know, like, we're looking to do these Fridays and all this. And then all of a sudden was, oh, yeah, well, yeah, that's fine. Oh, I haven't told you, have I? I've signed up to do a couple of half marathons. And just absolutely nailed me with it. It was brilliant. Got me completely in a pocket. Kansas, good evening. Now, here's the question. Kansas, actually in Kansas? And if so, are you a Kansas Chiefs fan, please? Where's my... oh, there it is. I don't know why, I was not paying any attention, and I thought my harvester was on that corner. Right, come on, how much have we got now? So we're getting about 8,000 litres a week per time, yeah? Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Oh, I can zoom out of that so it's not so loud. For the more techie-minded, can someone tell me, every time I load up this, born and raised in Kansas, but I'm living in Wyoming, and I know I'm a Raiders fan. Ah, sweet. Original Raiders, as in Oakland, or was it, and then LA Raiders, Oakland Raiders, LA Raiders, and then now Las Vegas Raiders? Am I remembering the history right? Yeah, the techies amongst you who do the multiplayer stuff, can someone tell me, how do I stop it? Every time I load the game up, it's putting my real name in as the farmer name, as opposed to my, you know, my character name, like Mids or Midlife Simster. I changed it once, and then I've come out of the game, come back in, and it's just gone back to it. So it's obviously drawing that information from the PC somewhere. I've never dealt with that before. It's normally, when I've done it obviously on console, it uses my console handle. So yeah, it's dragging that information from somewhere. Rob, just get the old PlayStation controller on the go, mate. Right, Let's get in here now. Right, come on then. Spin this thing around. Well, mate, she's got me in her pocket, mate. She's, yeah, just absolutely owned me on that front. Nothing I could do about it. Absolutely nothing. Waited for me to commit. And then what am I going to say? Oh, no, I don't want you doing that. Because, and then I even did like dabble and say, well, you know, the commitment to your marathons, you know, that's cool, but it's a big ask. And then she pointed out, well, running is my hobby, and I think you'll find that your hobby is recording and playing games, and you probably do more hours on that than I do running. And that was it, wasn't it? I'm just sat there then like, oh well, there we are then. End of chat. So, mate, yeah, happy wife, happy life. Indeed, Andy. It is a far, far simpler way, mate. And you are right. I think it's in the settings, mate. Give me a couple of minutes, I'll check. Thanks, Welsh. I appreciate it. Yeah, just a random thing. I must be... I don't know where it's drawing it from. I don't know if it's drawing it from an FS side of things, or if it's drawing it from somewhere within the computer. Yeah, I couldn't work it out. Right, let's get onto that line there. There we go. Keith retracting his own messages, yeah? Use run them as well as long as the farm stick. Yeah, the farm stick. So I've toyed with that farm stick so much, but because I've played now for so long just using a controller, I'm worried that I would just default always back to, especially for the convenience of content creation. I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe if I get the wheel set up and got the farm stick, I don't know. But I also feel I'd probably biting off more than I can chew, considering I can't even change my name. I want a farm stick. So yeah, coding the stick and everything would probably be a bridge too far. Oh god. Even the overlays like blew my mind. That took me so long to sort of tidy up and figure out, and all this stuff. I'm so new to it. It just, I'm hoping that I get better at it over time. I think, you know, when I look back at my original content, and I recommend that no one does that ever because it is diabolical. Yeah, I you know, it just takes time to learn all this stuff, doesn't it? But I look at the sort of the big players, and I'm like, oh, you guys are so good, and I'm just here making an absolute mockery of myself most of the time. Oz farm stick is brilliant. I will keep a little eye now on the Black Friday sales and the Cyber Monday and that sort of stuff. So if it hits a decent discount somewhere, then I might. But there's so much I could spend my money on at the moment, because I desperately want a third monitor, one that's going to match the... I stupidly have got two monitors that aren't the same, so, and they're also the same quality. So when I move my mouse across from one to the other, it moves on the screen. It is the most annoying thing. It actually happens in one of the... It did happen on one of the challenge recordings the other day, where I was trying to hover my mouse over something so you guys could see it, and then I noticed then that my mouse was actually miles off, because the game capture is different to the screen it's being played on, if that makes sense. So yeah, I need to spend some money on a replica monitor to the gaming monitor that I've got, so then I can use the lesser monitor for admin, and maybe turn it vertical and then have the two side by side or something along those lines. Anyway, but yeah, I'd love to go down that route with the farm stick as well. That would be super duper cool. But then yeah, I'd have to, I don't know how Mrs. Mids might be looking at the joint account and asking some questions. More for things like forklifts. I use a wheel and it feels a good combo. You mean you've improved? Shut up, Keith. Bloody cow baron. Farm stick is best out so far. I have it also the Hori kit, and it's light years ahead of other stick. Once you use it for load of work, you won't go back. Oh, you buggers are costing me money every time we talk. Well, with Llama last time, and now the farm stick. Bloody hell. Yeah, alright, I'll keep an eye. But you'll all have to help me, because I'll be bothering you all in the Discord and how to use it and how to set it up and all that stuff. So, you know, no tutting and sighing when I come knocking for advice, please. Yeah, the G20 on the games. Yeah. Okay. That's the one thing I've never done is well, we're on 76%. That's fine. The other thing I need to make a decision on at some point is webcam, and I don't particularly want my grid on the internet, if I'm perfectly honest. There's so many reasons for it, just so many. So yeah, that side of things, I don't know if I'll ever go down that route. But I the more sort of like stuff I watch around, especially around streaming, people do seem to prefer having, you know, to look at my head. That I've got the head the shape of a Malteser these days since I've gotten a bit older and my several horrific back injuries over the last couple of years. I've been carrying a little bit of Christmas weight since 1997. So yeah, I'd have to make sure it's got a pretty decent wide angle if I was to get a camera. Right, so you can change your online presence name in the first multiplayer screen. Press multiplayer and then press space to change your online presence name. As always, Welsh to the rescue. What a legend. What a legend. Mate, I should ask actually, you obviously did your farmer's table, which I loved, and for the guys and girls who are here now who haven't watched that, go back and have a watch of it. It's very, you know, it was Welsh. Oh no, I'm driving into the crop because I'm chatting away aimlessly. Yeah, great live stream episode. That really good. But then, if I'm assuming, obviously he's taken maybe a week or two off as well. So I haven't actually had the chance to check his Discord to see how he is and what hoping everything's okay and he's feeling nice and refreshed. I'm going to get on Welsh's MP this week, I hope. I genuinely, I meant to message Welsh about this and join in, but it's one of those things I don't want to commit to something I can't do. And I'd love to just come and play. So Welsh, I'll drop you a line, mate, and have a chat about it, because if I can get online and play along, then I will. I meant to talk to you about it before, because I messaged you about the Discord stuff as well, mate. So I'll drop you a little line after all this. We'll have a chat. Velvet, you make a really good point. Yes, my Discord, whenever I post a video, depending on the mood that my Discord is in, will depend on how long it takes for it to tell the rest of my Discord that I've just posted a video. And I don't know why. No idea. And there's no rhyme or reason. Some days it's 5 minutes, other days it's an hour. No idea why. That's been an absolute like baptism of fire learning about Discord. So I was again tonight doing, oh my god, mids, turn the bloody blades on, mate. Dear lord. Yeah, again, delving into AI to try and help me work out how to run a Discord server and set up like automation. So there's a few of you who will have had the invite to go onto the MP channel, which then you've got to accept the rules, which I know there's only going to be a handful of you doing it. So is I know I can trust you all. I don't really need you to accept the rules, but it's more of a sort of proof of concept, I guess, for God forbid if the day ever comes where I make it a little bit bigger and things, that it works. So yeah, that was, and I love all that stuff. I love the automation of it all and how clever the Discord bots are and things. It's just I'm just rubbish at using them. Head off, enjoy the rest of the stream. D-Dog, legend, thank you for joining us as always, mate. Top look. Refreshing for 10 minutes at 6 p.m. Oh, Velvet, like my #1 fan. Bless you. Bless you, bless you, bless you. Right, come on then. Let's get up here and get this finished off. So yeah, so I think our plan is there'll be ironically actually there's a little handful of you in the chat that are a part of the MP server. So yeah, it'll be a case of just getting heads together and sort of picking a date that it'll almost certainly be a Sunday night where I do the live streams, because it just makes the most amount of sense for me and the family. So the idea being then that we, if anyone's available to come online, then happy days, they join in and get on with it. It's like I say, it's a really simplistic multiplayer setup. It's basically no additional mods other than precision farming. And this, we're not going to challenge ourselves. This is just a very relaxed, friendly thing, and it sort of. It'll allow me, the way I was thinking about it, like if you look at like doing the onions and stuff, it would just be really helpful that like I'm not having to do all the work and talk and things like that. That was sort of a part of the reason that I was thinking about it. So I can do some of it, I can do the sort of more boring stuff, I guess, and then yeah, and then let you guys and girls get charged around the place doing all the sort of cool stuff. I'm now trying to keep a little bit of a watch on the NFL scores, because most of the games are coming to a bit of an end from the 6 o'clock kickoffs. Nice. Let's watch the Bears Vikings game. No spoilers for anyone who might not have heard the scores and is interested in all that good stuff. Do you know why I'm saying good stuff at the moment? Scroft has started saying it, and I clearly watched so much of his content. I heard myself say it yesterday, and I was like, I'm pretty sure I've never said that before, and yet because I'm watching his videos all the time, like I remember old school Mike saying that, and that's why I've got the blimey little cow emoji, because I really tried hard when I first started content creating on FS to not even have like any curse words. So I was desperate to try and avoid that, and I used to say blimey a lot. I probably still do. And that was the same thing, and he's an American firefighter, and you'd find himself no, not a firefighter, he worked in the fire station. He's emergency EMT, like a medic, and yeah, he would say blimey, and like the crew there would be like, what did you just say? And exactly that, isn't it? I guess when you're subjected to that word, I guess, or something new, you pick up on it. And yeah, I find myself saying all that good stuff at the moment because I find Scroft says it a lot. Enjoying his break. Next Farms Table episode is Tuesday 2nd of December. If you're looking for some good modded onion harvesters, check out Mark Thor's Discord server. Now Mark Thor, I looked up some of that. Did you mention it on the last one, Welsh, or was it another Scroft thing? But I'm sure I've looked at that stuff recently, because I went and downloaded a couple of mods, but I didn't get any of the onion stuff. So I will go and have a little look at that. Yes, definitely. And I keep meaning to go find the Range Rover that Scroft has got now on his. I keep meaning to go and get that because that's right-hand drive, isn't it? Now, I've got on. You guys can see it as well, can't you? So yes, you can. Just looking at the screen. Someone who plays MP a lot, please explain to me then. On the right-hand side, it's showing the microphone obviously every time I talk. So if there were other players playing this, would they hear me playing? So therefore, if I had a gaming headset rather than my content creation setup, so microphone and stereo headphones, would we communicate verbally rather than keyboard? Best friend is English. I use her words all the time. It's weird, isn't it, Kansas? It does. We do it. It's just a do Chandler Bing. Who's the friends freak in the chat who's going to understand that reference that I just made and can tell me the circumstances in which it was said, please? Right, where is our trailer? Come on. That's your in-game mic sound, mate. You can turn that off in the settings. Sweet, there we are. I remember I definitely did one of Scroff's multiplayers when I was still on console at the time. So one of his admins, is it Leroy, I think, was running it. And yeah, and I was struggling because I couldn't really communicate with the guys and girls that were online because most of them were PC. So they had a form of chat that I couldn't see. But then since I've loaded this up, I haven't seen any chat. So I need to work out that as well, I guess, of how we talk when there's players in the multiplayer. How do you actually communicate? Come on, my OCD. I know you can just hold the position and it'll just get to 100% and stop. But like my OCD hates it. It's interesting, isn't it? That like that does that. You know, they could have probably got around that on that trailer by having some sort of just cover over the top of that there. If you had like a sort of like the vulcanized rubber top on that, then you'd hide that little graphical. It's not a glitch, like, and obviously it's the sort of, it's the end of the plane, I guess, isn't it? Because I'm assuming when it tips it's gonna go a particular way, right? We may as well just go and empty this out because we're gonna still have to do another run. I have absolutely no idea how long we've been recording. Probably about an hour, is it? Yeah. What was it, about 9:10? Yeah, fine. Well, most people use Discord voice channel for comms, then turn your in-game mic sound off. You can also have a text chat box for MP, pressing T on the keyboard. Legend, as always. Rob, stay well, mate. Well, my plan was to give you a little shout on my way into work tomorrow, mate. So I'll drop you a message then. Take care, mate. Thank you ever so much for joining us. Yeah, well, the Discord voice channel. See, I've always it's fear of the unknown, and this is how stupid it is. And I feel really old when I say this. It's quite embarrassing, but I'll say it anyway. I worry that I'm just going to have an open mic at some point with a voice channel, and I'm going to be sat here like singing or something. I'm going to be on an open mic, like an open voice like mic channel in my Discord, like just whittering away to myself about stuff. So yeah, I've avoided the voice channel things. Why am I going to put this in there? It goes in there. I was so focused on the fact that it's the whole grain thing. Come on. Whoop. Oh my god. Jesus. Okay. It's savage. Fetch a cloth, Granville. Don't overthink it. No, that's my life, mate. That's what I do. literally my life. I am very much an overthinker, glass half empty. Yeah, overcomplicate it, never make it simple. Disappointed, none of you are friends, Sado fanatics, to answer the Chandler Bing a doo-doo reference. Now then, is that now in there? That is cool. I know it's just a simple thing, but that is cool, isn't it? That it does that. When I was playing Rod Martin, and we'd just gotten to the point of harvest at the last episode that recorded, and I was having to sort of just drop the crop on the floor because I really wanted to do that sort of more like this, like the British style. I would have sold my soul for this shed mod. It is epically good, this. Now, I know it's only then means you can only do 2 crops, but I like that. That's fine by me, because that's perfect. Because, you know, you wouldn't be chucking like 5 different types of crop into this drainage system, would you, to go into one silo? It just, you know, like, so I'm fine with that. Right, let's get this back down the field. There's one with 3 bays. What one's that, Oz? Is that on the... because this is the other thing, right? And this is how much sort of content creating is sort of taken over my life. I used to know like every mod that came out on PlayStation for this game, because I would watch all of Mr. Sealy P's videos around his mods, releases and stuff. And yeah, I was all over it. But since coming up to PC, I've completely lost the ability now to track what is new and what's come out, and I rely so much on other content creators and seeing it that way rather than stumbling across it myself, because I just seem to miss it. I just don't have time to focus and pick up on what is coming out at the moment. Right, let's put the pipe in mids anytime today. It's placed on the farm in the northeast end of the map. Ah, okay. So it's part of the Highlands then. So we should have a look. Yeah, I hadn't even looked at that. So if I go into the builds, have we got it? I'm guessing in under silo. No, so we've got pallet and haul crane. Right, we're doing, so that's the bulk course or bulk material. What am I missing? What am I missing? What am I missing? Or is that one? Am I being really, really stupid? Because that is that. Oh, there it is. That is that one, isn't it? That's the one we've got there. Also, watch that little jump now. What is it doing that for? Why is it all of a sudden started doing that with me? Weird little thing that it does. It's like I don't know what it is. You know when like your controller moves and it's like the dead zones or whatever it is, I guess it's called. I don't know why, but when I go into the build mode now, I get that horrific jump like that. And I've got no idea what I've done that's caused that. The one next to it. Come on then, mids. Get back in there and have a little look. This big old bugger. Wow. Can I get in there? There we go. Cool. Can we... See why it's jumping all over the place. Can we use the mods from this DLC on other maps? I'm guessing not, unless you're crafty and you know how to. I'm guessing the DLC doesn't move across. The DLC content doesn't move across to maybe non-Giants maps. Is that right? I don't know. I don't know how it works. Thanks for pointing that out, Oz, because they're brilliant. I love that, and that element of realism where it drops it into the floor, so it makes it realistic, but it gives you the shortcut. It's like the sort of one of my favorite mods is the especially when I was on PlayStation, was the Bale trailer that had the pro mode, so that like you still had to do an element of stacking. I thought that was superb, absolutely superb. So it would you could drive around and it wouldn't just pick them up mythically. It would actually need you to still pick up the bales, put them on there, but then it would stack them for you. Yeah, loved that mod. And I class those bunkers as the same sort of thing, really, where the end result looks realistic, but how you've got there is a more effort, but still not horrifically difficult. Only on base game maps, I think, mate. If it's a modded map, it can be added when the map maker updates it to suit. Oh, okay. That's interesting. Yeah, I mean, on the basis that I basically only play British maps, I would love to see the stuff that's in here make its way across the other maps. Like the ability to put those sheds into Rod Martin, onto Martin's map, would be just like, it would just make my day. Which reminds me, and again, I mention him 100 times, I mention him 101 times. I'll be miffed if I can remember who it was that told him, but in Scroff's video, someone told him how to get rid of Walter. Had I known that, right, I might have immediately found a way of moving Neil and Mids in the Homecoming up to this map, and I've turned this into their new gaff, because having Walter when he was just like staring you through the window when you go into the house was ridiculous. And I've always hated that about the Giants maps on this return round. I get why they've done it. I totally get it from a base game side of things, and character and all that sort of stuff, but I don't understand why there hasn't just been an option just to turn them off, and then like they just backfill the simple contracts images with something else. You guys need some food, don't you? I've given you nothing. Oh, you've already got some food. I don't think I gave you that. Interesting. Yeah, so getting rid of him is amazing. I've left all the others on you, but you can then obviously just apply the same logic within the XML code to get rid of all of them. And the only downside, but I don't really see it as a downside, was you'd lose the faces on the contract pictures, basically. But yeah, absolutely no bad thing. There we are. Kansas. I usually go into G and remove Walter and his friends, but can't with the DLC. I don't like the NPCs. So Kansas, go to if you go into Scroft's most recent, I think it was the final episode of his Kinlaig series before he started the new one. And whoever told him, he puts the description of how to do it. So you don't need to go into G, you just go into the XML code, and it is really simple, because if I can do it, it is simple. And yeah, and you could do it in theory for then all the characters. You could just get rid of them all, and the only thing it'll do for you is where you go into here, let's see if I can find an example. So you basically would have just blank squares where their names are. You wouldn't have the then like the image of Katie or Noah and stuff. But yeah, so simple, so simple. Not sure the sheds are available on other maps, but the new animals and crops can be moved over. Oh, that's cool. There we are. Ours is straight on it. Program files x86 stream. So yeah, so it all depends on as well, doesn't it, where you save your files. But basically, if you find that folder, if you find the data maps folder, and then follow what Oz is basically saying in the comments here, then you'll get there and you'll be able to remove them. And yeah, I love it. Such a simple thing, but yeah. Massive, absolutely massive. Right, let's go and drop the last God, could I not have got that in that last load? Because it was like 1%, wasn't there? Water in a tree. Yeah, that old that old hack. If you can't get rid, build a tree on them. There was, what was the other map as well? And it was one of them, and I was like really keen to like sort of do a build, so I had to like edit out where Walter stood, and he was like sort of like stood on a porch, and it just then meant that the building went and Walter was just like levitating there, so like some sort of really rubbish Yoda. Yeah, just really annoying. I know why they're in game, and I get it. I do get it from a giant's perspective, but yeah, just give us a button to get rid of the buggers, for God's sake. The old oak tree in build mode is the perfect size to hide him. I kind of want his hands just sort of like sticking out the side. I think that would be so funny. I think it would just be so like you'd walk up to the tree. For those for it's a shame actually, because that Martin isn't online, because he, being from South Wales area, he might know of this. Now, there is a tree somewhere, oh God, it's up Blackwood way, I think, and it's obviously out in the country lanes, and it's like Blackwood or Ystrad or somewhere like in the Caerphilly borough, basically, I'm sure it is. And there's a tree that looks like a very rude part of a lady. And some Welsh moron stroke legend has gone and painted it. Painted it to enhance the realism. And you'll be driving along this country lane, and then this just like thing, this site built into a tree will catch your eye as you drive past. How more people haven't crashed, I'll never know. And it's got a rude name, because obviously it's the body part and then the word tree. Yeah, so just that made me, sorry, I went on a complete tangent then, imagining Walter's hands sticking out of a tree, and that took me back to a memory I'd clearly buried from years and years and years ago about that bloody tree up in Blackwood. So there we are, field is done. Happy days. Now, multiplayer server would be perfect, because somebody else could have been mopping up behind us and tidying this all up, and then we can get on with it. We also need to do, obviously, the onions. In terms of land, what have I given us? We've got basically all of this. So we've got our, let's get up here. That's the only thing when you do the dev controls, I don't know if it's me, it probably is. I can't find a way to not have weeds just full stop. Like, why do I have to have them either growing or withered? And I'm worried that if they're growing, do they then affect the yield even if you can't see them? So there's a question for the comment section. So yeah, here's our onion field. Happy days, although it doesn't look right to me. I don't know why it didn't. I feel like it should look different to this. Maybe it's the base, or maybe I've done something wrong with the floor, how it looks. But there we are. So we've got the onion field over here. We've also got all this land in by here. We've got our little hello Highland cattle. Highland cattle field over here, and then we've just done our wheat field, and then we've got one grass field over here. So nothing, not overly kind of complex really in terms of the map. But I probably should have bought more, to be honest with you, but because there's only ever going to be like 2 or 3 of us doing the multiplayer, I didn't want to sort of overdo it at the same time. If you press on weeds in easy dev, yes, so I've still got the dev controls on us. So if I jump back over to my onion field here, go into here, set the field fruit. So where we've got the weeds, obviously I set it to small withered, right? So I'll do that now just to reset it. If I was going to change the crop entirely, if I just put it to growing, will that have that a negative effect on the yield because there's weeds growing? I haven't treated them. There's another weeds control. Oh. Oh, right. Oh, God. Where's that then? I didn't know that. If you press on reads in easy, yeah. Okay. Yeah, either way, I've never known, because I've always, whenever I've sort of done fields for this sort of thing, I've always ended up putting them in like this with it, because then I know they won't be impacting my yield, but at the same time it looks horrific. So yeah. And then I still haven't done anything with the whole grass texture to like make it basically less patchy. And when it's at this stage, it doesn't look too bad, does it? Because that looks quite like lush and thick. But when you then cut it, and that first growth stage is tragic. But again, I'm a bit worried about the sort of pressure it'll put onto the PC. And I found such a sweet spot after taking so long to like get it right that, yeah, I don't want to risk putting was it right? Hang on then, Oz, let me jump back. Sorry everyone, but this is learning for us all, hopefully, or certainly learning for those of us who are new to using this stuff. So, oh my good God. Decrease reads by delta by 1. So if I... Right, so is that it then? Oh my good God. Oh no. What have I done? Oh no, right, okay. Hang on now. Oz has done me dirty, right. Small dents. Spam the minus bit, right, roger. Let's have a look then. Okay. Oz, you legend, you haven't done me dirty at all. Look at that. There we are. Every day is a school day with a midlife Simster, and it's never me that's never me that's educating. I'm always the one being taught. Yeah, cracking stuff. Brilliant. Thank you, mate. That's made my day, that is. Lordy, lordy, lord. Right, let's go and check this back on the trailer. So, what I want to do, just give me lift that up there before I go ramming into the bloody trailer. Stay. Yes, cool. Let's fold that up. Right, give me just 20 seconds and I'll be back with you. Nope, couldn't do what I wanted to do anyway. So, blinking typical. But there we are. Right, I'm not going to overdo it tonight. I don't want to delve too far into the farming work, because I'm hoping I might have a little bit of company the next time we get onto the map. So I will call it a day there. For those of you that have joined me tonight, thank you. Bless you. Honestly, just having people to talk to and in the chat. What a wonderful group of people and a little community. Thank you. And so many of you are so heavily involved in what makes this game great. So I won't start giving you all big heads again, but honestly, thank you for all the work and effort you do to put into these things. Thank you to all of you as well for being willing to help me and talk to me and give me advice on how to do things and fix things. And for all the support in the background. Bless you all. Right, we will call it a day there. I think that's just under kind of an hour and a half, so that's not a bad little innings, is it? I hope you've had a good time. I hope we'll see you again in a couple of weeks' time on another live stream. And yeah, we'll say our good nights then. So as always, guys, be happy, stay safe, and we will speak again soon. Take care, everyone.